Fashion designers in 1974 in Dresden. Fashion design is the art of applying design, aesthetics, clothing construction, and natural beauty to clothing and its accessories. It is influenced by culture and different trends, and has varied over time and place. A fashion designer creates clothing, including dresses, suits, pants, and skirts, and accessories like shoes and handbags, for consumers. He or she can specialize in clothing, accessory, or jewelry design, or may work in more than one of these areas. Fashion designers typically use a runway of models to showcase their work. Fashion designers. Fashion designers work in a variety of different ways when designing their pieces and accessories such as rings, bracelets, necklaces and earrings. Due to the time required to put a garment out in market, designers must anticipate changes to consumer desires. Fashion designers are responsible for creating looks for individual garments, involving shape, color, fabric, trimming, and more. Fashion designers attempt to design clothes that are functional as well as aesthetically pleasing. They consider who is likely to wear a garment and the situations in which it will be worn, and they work within a wide range of materials, colors, patterns, and styles. Though most clothing worn for everyday wear falls within a narrow range of conventional styles, unusual garments are usually sought for special occasions such as evening wear or party dresses. Some clothes are made specifically for an individual, as in the case of haute couture or bespoke tailoring. Today, most clothing is designed for the mass market, especially casual and everyday wear, which are commonly known as ready-to-wear or fast fashion. Structure. There are different lines of work for designers in the fashion industry, which consist of those who work full-time for a singular fashion house or those who are freelance designers. Fashion designers that work full-time for one fashion house, as in-house designers, own the designs and may either work alone or as a part of a design team. Freelance designers who work for themselves, sell their designs to fashion houses, directly to shops, or to clothing manufacturers. There are quite a few fashion designers who choose to set up their own labels, which offers them full control over their designs, while others are self-employed and design for individual clients. Other high-end fashion designers cater to specialty stores or high-end fashion department stores. These designers create original garments, as well as those that follow established fashion trends. Most fashion designers, however, work for apparel manufacturers, creating designs of men's, women's, and children's fashions for the mass market. Large designer brands which have a name as their brands such as Abercrombie & Fitch, Justice, or Juicy are likely to be designed by a team of individual designers under the direction of a design director. Designing a garment. Fashion designers work in various ways. Some start by sketching their ideas on paper, while others go directly into draping fabric onto a dress form, also known as a mannequin. The design process is unique to the designer and it is rather intriguing to see the various steps that go into the process. A designer may choose to work with certain apps that are able to help connect all their ideas together and expand their thoughts to create a cohesive design. When a designer is completely satisfied with the fit of the toile, or muslin, they will consult a professional pattern maker who then makes the finished, working version of the pattern out of card or via a computer program. Finally, a sample garment is made up and tested on a model to make sure it is an operational outfit. Fashion design is expressive. The designers create art that may be functional or non-functional. History. The Truet Salon on Place Vendôme in Paris, 1910. Main article, History of Fashion Design. Fashion design is generally considered to have started in the 19th century with Charles Frederick Worth, who was the first designer to have his label sewn into the garments that he created. Before the former draper set up his maison couture, fashion house, in Paris, clothing design and creation of the garments were handled largely by anonymous seamstresses. At the time, high fashion descended from what was popularly worn at royal courts. Worth's success was such that he was able to dictate to his customers what they should wear, instead of following their lead as earlier dressmakers had done. The term couturier was in fact first created in order to describe him. While all articles of clothing from any time period are studied by academics as costume design, only clothing created after 1858 is considered fashion design. It was during this period that many design houses began to hire artists to sketch or paint designs for garments. Rather than going straight into manufacturing, the images were shown to clients to gain approval, which saved time and money for the designer. If the client liked their design, the patrons commissioned the garment from the designer, and it was produced for the client in the fashion house. This designer-patron construct launched designers sketching their work rather than putting the completed designs on models. Types of fashion. Garments produced by clothing manufacturers fall into three main categories, although these may be split up into additional, different types. Haute couture. Main article, haute couture. Until the 1950s, fashion clothing was predominantly designed and manufactured on a made-to-measure or haute couture basis, French for high sewing, with each garment being created for a specific client. A couture garment is made to order for an individual customer, and is usually made from high-quality, expensive fabric, sewn with extreme attention to detail and finish, often using time-consuming, hand-executed techniques. Look and fit take priority over the cost of materials and the time it takes to make. Due to the high cost of each garment, haute couture makes little direct profit for the fashion houses, but is important for prestige and publicity. Ready-to-wear, pret-à-porter. Main article, ready-to-wear. Ready-to-wear, or pret-à-porter, clothes are a cross between haute couture and mass market. They are not made for individual customers, but great care is taken in the choice and cut of the fabric. Clothes are made in small quantities to guarantee exclusivity, so they are rather expensive. Ready-to-wear collections are usually presented by fashion houses each season during a period known as Fashion Week. This takes place on a citywide basis and occurs twice a year. The main seasons of Fashion Week include spring/summer, fall/winter, resort, swim, and bridal. Halfway garments are an alternative to ready-to-wear, off-the-peg, or pret-à-porter fashion. Halfway garments are intentionally unfinished pieces of clothing that encourage co-design between the primary designer of the garment, and what would usually be considered, the passive consumer. This differs from ready-to-wear fashion, as the consumer is able to participate in the process of making and co-designing their clothing. During the Make-Able workshop, Herscher and Nyanimaki found that personal involvement in the garment-making process created a meaningful narrative for the user, which established a person-product attachment and increased the sentimental value of the final product. Otto von Busch also explores halfway garments and fashion co-design in his thesis, Fashionable, Hacktivism, and Engaged Fashion Design. Mass market. Main article, mass market. Currently, the fashion industry relies more on mass market sales. The mass market caters for a wide range of customers, producing ready-to-wear garments using trends set by the famous names in fashion. They often wait around a season to make sure a style is going to catch on before producing their versions of the original look. To save money and time, they use cheaper fabrics and simpler production techniques which can easily be done by machines. The end product can, therefore, be sold much more cheaply. There is a type of design called Kitsch, originated from the German word kitschig, meaning trashy or not aesthetically pleasing. Kitsch can also refer to wearing or displaying something that is therefore no longer in fashion. Income. The median annual wages for salaried fashion designers was $74,410 in February of 2023. The middle 50% earned an average of $76,700. The lowest 10% earned $32,320 and the highest 10% earned $130,900. Median annual earnings in May 2008 were $52,860, £40,730 and 47 pence, in apparel, piece goods, and notions, the industry employing the largest numbers of fashion designers. In 2016, 23,800 people were counted as fashion designers in the United States. Fashion industry. Men pulling carts of women's clothing in Garment District, New York, 1955. Fashion today is a global industry, and most major countries have a fashion industry. 7 countries have established an international reputation in fashion: the United States, France, Italy, United Kingdom, Japan, Germany, and Belgium. The big 4 fashion capitals of the fashion industry are New York City, Paris, Milan, and London. United States. Main article: Fashion in the United States. Fashion show at a fashion designing college, U.S., 2015. The United States is home to the largest, wealthiest, and most multifaceted fashion industry. Most fashion houses in the United States are based in New York City, with a high concentration centered in the Garment District neighborhood. On the U.S. West Coast, there is also to a lesser extent a significant number of fashion houses in Los Angeles, where a substantial percentage of high fashion clothing manufactured in the United States is actually made. Miami has also emerged as a new fashion hub, especially in regards to swimwear and other beach-oriented fashion. A semi-annual event held every February and September, New York Fashion Week is the oldest of the 4 major fashion weeks held throughout the world. Parsons, the New School for Design, located in the Greenwich Village neighborhood of Lower Manhattan in New York City, is considered one of the top fashion schools in the world. There are numerous fashion magazines published in the United States and distributed to a global readership. Examples include Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Cosmopolitan. American fashion design is highly diverse, reflecting the enormous ethnic diversity of the population, but is largely dominated by a clean-cut, urban, hip aesthetic, and often favors a more casual style, reflecting the athletic, health-conscious lifestyles of the suburban and urban middle classes. The annual Met Gala ceremony in Manhattan is widely regarded as the world's most prestigious haute couture fashion event and is a venue where fashion designers and their creations are celebrated. Social media is also a place where fashion is presented most often. Some influencers are paid huge amounts of money to promote a product or clothing item, where the business hopes many viewers will buy the product off the back of the advertisement. Instagram is the most popular platform for advertising, but Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter and other platforms are also used. In New York, the LGBT fashion design community contributes very significantly to promulgating fashion trends, and drag celebrities have developed a profound influence upon New York Fashion Week. Prominent American brands and designers include Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, Coach, Nike, Vans, Marc Jacobs, Tommy Hilfiger, DKNY, Tom Ford, Caswell Massey, Michael Kors, Levi Strauss & Co., Estée Lauder, Revlon, Kate Spade, Alexander Wang, Vera Wang, Victoria's Secret, Tiffany & Co., Converse, Oscar de la Renta, John Varvatos, Anna Sui, Prabal Gurung, Bill Blass, Halston, Carhartt, Brooks Brothers, Stuart Weitzman, Diane von Furstenberg, J. Crew, American Eagle Outfitters, Steve Madden, Abercrombie & Fitch, Juicy Couture, Tom Brown, Guess, Supreme, and the Timberland Company. Belgium. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Belgian fashion designers brought a new fashion image that mixed East and West, and brought a highly individualized, personal vision on fashion. Well-known Belgian designers are the Antwerp Six, Andy Moelmeester, Dries van Noten, Dirk Bikembergs, Dirk van Senne, Walter van Beverendonck and Marina Yee, as well as Maison Martin Margiela, R.A.F. Simons, Chris Van Asch, Bruno Peters, Anthony Vaccarello. United Kingdom. London has long been the capital of the United Kingdom fashion industry and has a wide range of foreign designs which have integrated with modern British styles. Typical British design is smart but innovative, yet recently has become more and more unconventional, fusing traditional styles with modern techniques. Vintage styles play an important role in the British fashion and styling industry. Stylists regularly mix and match the old with the new, which gives British style a unique, bohemian aesthetic. Irish fashion, both design and styling, is also heavily influenced by fashion trends from Britain. Well-known British designers include Thomas Burberry, Alfred Dunhill, Paul Smith, Vivienne Westwood, Stella McCartney, John Galliano, John Richmond, Alexander McQueen, Matthew Williamson, Gareth Pugh, and Hussein Chalayan. France. Main article, French fashion. Chanel Haute Couture Fall-Winter 2011-2012 Fashion Show. Most French fashion houses are in Paris, which is the capital of French fashion. Traditionally, French fashion is chic and stylish, defined by its sophistication, cut, and smart accessories. French fashion is internationally acclaimed. Spain. Madrid and Barcelona are the main fashion centers in Spain. Spanish fashion is often more conservative and traditional but also more timeless than other fashion cultures. Spaniards are known not to take great risks when dressing. Nonetheless, many are the fashion brands and designers coming from Spain. The most notable luxury houses are Loewe and Balenciaga. Famous designers include Manolo Blahnik, Elio Berhaneur, Cristobal Balenciaga, Paco Rabanne, Adolfo Dominguez, Manuel Pertegaz, Jesus del Pozo, Felipe Varela, and Agatha Ruiz de la Prada. Spain is also home to large fashion brands such as Zara, Massimo Dutti, Bershka, Pull & Bear, Mango, Desigual, Pepe Jeans and Camper. Germany. Main article, German fashion. Berlin is the center of fashion in Germany, prominently displayed at Berlin Fashion Week, while Dusseldorf holds Europe's largest fashion trade fairs with ISDO. Other important centers of the scene are Munich, Hamburg, and Cologne. German fashion is known for its elegant lines as well as unconventional young designs and the great variety of styles. Italy. Red carpet fashion, Italian actors Gabriel Garco and Laura Torrisi wearing designer formal wear at Venice Film Festival, 2009. Main article, Italian fashion. Milan is Italy's fashion capital. Most of the older Italian couturiers are in Rome. However, Milan and Florence are the Italian fashion capitals, and it is the exhibition venue for their collections. Italian fashion features casual and glamorous elegance. In Italy, Milan Fashion Week takes place twice a week in February and September. Milan Fashion Week puts fashion in the spotlight and celebrates it in the heart of Milan with fashion lovers, buyers, and media. Japan. Most Japanese fashion houses are in Tokyo. The Japanese look is loose and unstructured, often resulting from complicated cutting. Colors tend to the somber and subtle, and richly textured fabrics. Famous Japanese designers include Kenzo Takeda, Issey Miyake, Yuji Yamamoto, and Rei Kawakubo. China. Hong Kong clothing brand Shanghai Tang's design concept is inspired by Chinese clothing and set out to rejuvenate Chinese fashion of the 1920s and 30s, with a modern twist of the 21st century and its usage of bright colors. Soviet Union. Main article, Fashion in the Soviet Union. Fashion in the Soviet Union largely followed general trends of the Western world. However, the state's socialist ideology consistently moderated and influenced these trends. In addition, shortages of consumer goods meant that the general public did not have ready access to pre-made fashion. Switzerland. Most of the Swiss fashion houses are in Zurich. The Swiss look is casual, elegant, and luxurious with a slight touch of quirkiness. Additionally, it has been greatly influenced by the dance club scene. Mexico. In the development of Mexican indigenous dress, the fabrication was determined by the materials and resources that are available in specific regions, impacting the fabric, shape, and construction of a people's clothing. Textiles were created from plant fibers including cotton and agave. Class status differentiated what fabric was worn. Mexican dress was influenced by geometric shapes to create the silhouettes. Huipil, a blouse characterized by a loose, sleeveless tunic made of 2 or 3 joined webs of cloth sewn lengthwise, is an important historical garment, often seen today. After the Spanish conquest, traditional Mexican clothing shifted to take a Spanish resemblance. Mexican indigenous groups rely on specific embroidery and colors to differentiate themselves from each other. Mexican pink is a significant color to the identity of Mexican art and design and general spirit. The term Rosa Mexicano, as described by Ramon Valdioso, was established by prominent figures such as Dolores Del Rio and designer Ramon Val in New York. When newspapers and magazines such as El Impartial and El Mundo Ilustrado circulated in Mexico, became a significant movement, as it informed the large cities, such as Mexico City, of European fashions. This encouraged the founding of department stores, changing the existent pace of fashion. With access to European fashion and dress, those with high social status relied on adopting those elements to distinguish themselves from the rest. Juana Catarina Romero was a successful entrepreneur and pioneer in this movement. Fashion design terms. A fashion designer conceives garment combinations of line, proportion, color, and texture. While sewing and pattern making skills are beneficial, they are not a prerequisite of successful fashion design. Most fashion designers are formally trained or apprenticed. A technical designer works with the design team and the factories overseas to ensure correct garment construction, appropriate fabric choices, and a good fit. The technical designer fits the garment samples on a fit model, and decides which fit and construction changes to make before mass-producing the garment. A pattern maker, also referred as pattern master or pattern cutter, drafts the shapes and sizes of a garment's pieces. This may be done manually with paper and measuring tools or by using a CAD computer software program. Another method is to drape fabric directly onto a dress form. The resulting pattern pieces can be constructed to produce the intended design of the garment and required size. Formal training is usually required for working as a pattern marker. A tailor makes custom-designed garments made to the client's measure, especially suits, coat and trousers, jacket and skirt, etc. Tailors usually undergo an apprenticeship or other formal training. A textile designer designs fabric, weaves and prints for clothes and furnishings. Most textile designers are formally trained as apprentices and in school. A stylist coordinates the clothes, jewelry, and accessories used in fashion photography and catwalk presentations. A stylist may also work with an individual client to design a coordinated wardrobe of garments. Many stylists are trained in fashion design, the history of fashion, and historical costume, and have a high level of expertise in the current fashion market and future market trends. However, some simply have a strong aesthetic sense for pulling great looks together. A fashion buyer selects and buys the mix of clothing available in retail shops, department stores, and chain stores. Most fashion buyers are trained in business and/or fashion studies. A seamstress sews ready-to-wear or mass-produced clothing by hand or with a sewing machine, either in a garment shop or as a sewing machine operator in a factory. She, or he, may not have the skills to make, design and cut the garments, or to fit them on a model. A dressmaker specializes in custom-made women's clothes, day, cocktail, and evening dresses, business clothes and suits, trousseaux, sports clothes, and lingerie. A fashion forecaster predicts what colors, styles, and shapes will be popular, on trend, before the garments are on sale in stores. A model wears and displays clothes at fashion shows and in photographs. A fit model aids the fashion designer by wearing and commenting on the fit of clothes during their design and pre-manufacture. Fit models need to be a particular size for this purpose. A fashion journalist writes fashion articles describing the garments presented or fashion trends, for magazines or newspapers. A fashion photographer produces photographs about garments and other fashion items along with models and stylists for magazines or advertising agencies.